The feds have raised interest rates again. And AI is the topic of the day. No matter what the financial headlines are, be a successful investor with Phil's Gang at philsgang.com. Take advantage of the free 10-day trial for the Working Investor Program. Phil Grandy has put together the tools you need to understand the stock market with full access to the Phil's Gang website and access to Phil's Pro 2 color-coded charting software. Know with confidence when to buy, sell, and short a stock. Members also have access to Coffee Talk. Every morning at 8:30 Eastern, Phil Grandy talks about what's happening on Wall Street that day. Want to be a better investor? Then take advantage of the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com. You'll find many more features and tools for the working investor. After the trial, it's just $59.95 a month for membership. Invest with the best. Phil's Gang at philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy. at philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
I think if you're a long-term investor, I'm not scared at these levels.
No, Siegel's never scared. Just buy and hold, he says.
But if you're a long-term investor, I would still hold your stock portfolio. We're nowhere near as crazy as we all saw it in 2000 at the top of the internet bubble.
This guy is nuts. It's worse now. It's worse now. You know, here's the problem. The Federal Reserve is always wrong. They never make good decisions. Like, they're going to start tightening, right? They're going to start tightening, which means they're going to start raising rates to discourage people from going and get loans. And they do that thinking, well, they'll cut inflation. Well, they've done it 11 times. It hasn't worked. I mean, look at the price of food and everything else. Gasoline's still up 58%, for heaven's sakes. It hasn't worked. So, but the bond market is always right when it forecasts. And in fact, here, listen to this. This is Jim Rogers. This is when Bernanke was the head of the Fed.
Well, Mr. Bernanke has been wrong for 400 weeks in a row now. He's never been right about anything.
That's right. Same with Powell. And here's Rogers again.
Just to ask you one thing, what worries you the most at the moment?
The Federal Reserve in the United States. I mean, they don't have a clue about economics or currencies or economics. They don't have a clue about much of anything.
That's right. These aren't business people. I mean, you take a look at Yellen when she was the head of the Fed. Look at her credentials. She never had a job. And she got more degrees. All she did is stay in school, get another MBA, go to Yale, go to Harvard, go to England. These are educated nincompoops. They have no common sense. They have no business background. They don't know how things work. They always get a paycheck. They never created a paycheck. You get a different perspective on what's going on in the economy when you create paychecks rather than receiving a paycheck. And so they're putting people in position because of politics. And this is why we're in a mess. Inflation, you know, we don't always have to. When you think you're going to fight inflation by raising rates, all you're doing is cutting off oxygen to the economy when you keep raising rates. And again, think about this. Today, what happened? The job number came in. They expected 200,000 jobs, but it turned to just 185,000, and they're cheering over it. They're cheering over. They're all excited. Yeah. Wow, yeah. And what was their reasoning? Well, we thought we were going to have 200,000 jobs, but isn't that great? We only got 185. The reasoning is that's going to reduce the inflationary pressure. So if you're out there looking for a job, now there's only 185 instead of 200, you don't get a job. I mean, how can they think that way? Let's see, the more jobs that we can cut, that's how we're going to beat inflation. Let's cut jobs. And then the other stupid thing is, hey, why don't we just keep raising rates? And that'll discourage lending. People won't come in and borrow money. That will stop inflation. Well, that's cutting the economy's auction off, for God's sakes. So they cheered today because the jobs came in at 185. Isn't that stupid? But that's how they think. They cheered today because wages came in on an annual basis of 4.4%. More cheering today. All excited. Wait a minute. That 4.4%, remember, is 3.2% lower than the day Biden became president. Oh, but they don't mention that, do they? No, not at all. They didn't mention that. Oh, wow, we're at 4.4%. But let's not tell anybody that's 3.2% lower than the day Biden became president. Let's not mention that. What are you, nuts? And since the day Biden became president, you know what they didn't mention when they were cheering today? The prices, as the 4.4%, annual wage was happening, prices of the most items a household uses is up 16%. They say, boy, the economy's getting stronger. Look at this, we're up 4.4%. Again, not telling you it dropped 3.2%. But the real problem is 4.4% against 16%. Yeah, prices have gone up 16%. You know that. Anybody goes shopping? Look at, as of July 5th, for heaven's sakes, groceries are still up 20%. Energy's up 33%, gas up 58%, rent's up 30%, heating oil's up 68%. I could go on and on. But wait a minute, they cut, hold on, they had 11 rate cuts. 11 rate cuts. It didn't work. It never works. What the hell's with these 11 rate cuts? Just because you keep on cutting rates, that's not gonna do anything. You need production is what you need. But these people are too stupid. They don't understand that. They don't get that. You need to fund and create startup businesses and fund existing businesses. That's what you need to do. And when you do that, then you're putting oxygen back in. But you've got to create jobs. That's what works. Productivity works. Productivity gets rid of inflation. But you got to do that before the inflation happens. And you also have to cut deficits before the inflation happens. You got to cut deficits. Whatever you think about, if you're president, you got to say, you know what, we got to make sure we don't have deficits, because deficits increase inflation. We got to make sure we're not going to increase inflation. So here's what we're going to start doing. Let's go in and we'll start creating more jobs. We'll fund startup businesses because that's where most of our jobs come from. And we'll also fund existing small businesses. Let's do that now before we have a problem with inflation. If we do that and we watch our deficits, we're going to be fine. But no, that's what most Republicans do that are president. Trump, any of them. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, Reagan. But know what the Democrats do? Instead, they go, oh, now we got inflation. This is good. People are hurting. This is good. Now we can really build our base up. We'll build our base up, and we'll extend food stamps. will increase their unemployment checks, will supplement their rent. That's more inflation. See the difference? So the liberals are sitting there, and they think, all right, inflation's good. People are going to hurt, but we can build our base. Just like opening up the border, right? Everyone knows why they opened up the border, to build their base and to give these people coming over the border free this, free that. And it's the same problem. Why we're where we are now is because they didn't start with the idea, let's stop deficits, let's cut spending, make sure our deficits don't get out of hand, and let's increase jobs and productivity before everything goes to hell in a handbasket. No, they didn't do that either. Now what are they doing? Something worse. We'll talk about when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grandy.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. And today, all day long, they've been trying to move the market back to positive, and now it's going negative again. And we're going to get a recession. When he says we're not going to have a recession, he's dead wrong. He's dead wrong. As I said, the Fed has never been right about anything. Trust the bond market. When the bond market, you see the yields going up, trust that. Because when the yields keep going up, they're telling you we're going to have a recession. And the bond market's never wrong. So if you take money creation, now you hear all the time they say money supply, money supply. Well, what they're talking about is getting money out of the banks based on loans. They got to promote loans. You get money out to the system. You're putting oxygen into the system, getting good loans out there. That's what you need to do. That's what grows an economy. And that money creation is that oxygen. But when the Fed decides, they panic and decide, we got inflation, and they create it through running deficits, and they decide, okay, what we got to do now is stop this inflation. What we're going to do is we're going to cut back loans. We're going to take the money supply and shrink it. And when you do that, an economy that was growing at 6.5%, now it's at 2.4%, you're going to go into recession and worse. Instead, what they should be doing is saying, let's invest money into start-up businesses because that's where most of our jobs come from. And when you have a start-up business and you start hiring people, soon savings grow. And soon people have enough money for investment. They start investing. And they'll invest in another start-up business. Soon you got productivity. That's what you need, productivity. But none of that happens if you cut loaning. Especially when you're in a recession already. Or if you don't want to call it a recession, you're in a down economy. But by increasing your labor, by increasing work, by starting businesses, you're going to also increase labor supply, capital supply, productivity. And that is what reduces inflation. That's how you reduce inflation. But we got dopes who are running the Fed. And they're not independent. They work for the president. And like I said a moment ago, what do? Instead of, as we start heading into, every president knows when he's heading into inflation or into a bad economy. because his advisor would tell him, look, we're running these deficits. We're spending far more than we're taking tax revenue. We got to stop doing it. We got to start cutting. But no, they keep spending. And even Republican presidents do the same thing. They'll just keep spending and spending. And then all of a sudden they're jammed up. And the worst thing that happens is when you have liberals that are running a country, who is the president, they only think about one thing: my base, my liberal base. How do I make them happy? AOC, I got to make her happy. You think it would make AOC and their base happy by announcing, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fund startup businesses. We're going to go to all these entrepreneurs. We're going to fund them. They can start a business. They'll be creating jobs. They'll be creating savings. Our economy will grow. Or do you think they get excited when they say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to increase food stamps. Oh, your rent, we're going to supplement it. Don't worry about it. See, they know that their base is going to be more excited by that. And as long as they get something, and that's the problem you have, as long as you keep giving all this free stuff, and inflation keeps going higher and higher, and then they come back with the idea, well, no, we'll raise rates 11 times. How'd that work out? How did that work out, raising rates 11 times? We still have inflation. It didn't work out at all. They try to tell us it worked out, but it didn't. It's unbelievable. So when you start taking our oxygen and you cut it off from the economy, our economy then goes into a coma. Now here's what you're going to start hearing. To get oxygen back into the economy, they're going to try to slow those yields that are going up, those interest rates that are going up. But wait a minute. They're raising rates to stop the inflation, they tell us. But here's what Powell will do. He would love to go and do another QE, but he can't, because that's hypocritical. If he says, I'm going to do another QE, that's why we're in trouble, because of QE. All this money supply is sloshing around out there. We can't get it back out. So Powell, what he'll do is, oh, no, we're going to keep raising rates. We're going to beat inflation. We're now raise rates 11 times. But here's what he'll do. The banks are in deep trouble right now, very deep trouble. No, not just the regional banks, the big banks. I told my members today, we got to get ready to short them. Because remember, the regional banks, just because they're big, yeah, they'll get bailed out, but they're in trouble for the same reason that the regional banks, because they own a lot of treasuries. And when you start owning treasuries and you're getting 1.5%, look what happened to the three banks, regional banks. They bought all these treasuries, getting 1.5%, 2.5% revenue, and then all of a sudden rates went up to 5%, and they're losing money to go broke. Well, it's the same thing now that's happening is they're raising rates. The big banks got a problem. And now the big banks even have a worse problem because they have commercial defaults. All these commercial loans, people handing their keys in. And then you got all these corporations. We got the biggest corporate debt in history, and guess what? These corporations were borrowing money at 1% and 2%, and they're buying their own stock back. So now they own, let's say a corporation now owns $2 billion in loans. No more at 2%. Now it's at 7%. They're in trouble. So to get oxygen back into our economy, they're going to try to slow the yields down, but they're not going to tell us they're going to do QE. They're going to print money and give it to the banks so the banks can go in and buy treasuries to try to get the yields back down and not tell us. That's what they're going to do. But there's going to be an opportunity to make money when that happens. I'll tell you about that when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, We recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Bill, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this, but it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Our spending is out of control, $11 trillion in 2 years. We have a cost of living crisis. Our economy's in the tank, and Fitch says it's heading for recession. Our debt trajectory is totally unsustainable. And in a worst case scenario, and Fitch outlines this, we will undermine the currency and we could have a sovereign debt crisis.
Well, let's go to our next one. Let's go to a truth teller, Jamie Dimon. See what he says.
The big picture of America is resilient, unbelievable, et cetera. What we have today is a little bit of an anomaly. A very strong consumer, low unemployment. We're growing as a country.
Very strong consumer. The consumer's dying. And this guy will sit there and lie. Look, as I said, you can't get out of this just by raising rates so that you won't go to the bank and ask for a loan. This is what they're thinking. Let's keep raising rates. When you keep raising rates in an economy we're only growing 2.4%, and you keep running deficits, you're really screwed. Because remember, deficits are really bad. And that's why we're in a jam due to all Biden's deficits. All these programs he was doing. And then the $93 trillion that they're going to do $10 trillion a year for AOC, for her green program. We don't have that money. So those are deficits. And so Powell is printing money to pay for the deficits. And then that's where the inflation's coming from, why we have 40-year high inflation. Then to combat that inflation, Powell's raising rates. He raised rates 11 times, but it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. But they're telling us, oh, it is working. No, it's not. So now what's happening is when Powell keeps raising rates, that's going to cause the dollar to drop, causing the stock market to drop, and then you start buying mining stocks, gold mining stocks. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. We already seen the dollar drop a little bit today. Just be patient. It's going to happen. So you got to also remember you got to watch the dollar. Because remember, when the dollar is going up, your yields are going up. It means interest, they're going up. You got to watch that. That's not positive. That's not positive. So again, you're going to start hearing, trust me, they're going to say, well, we know he said there's not going to be a recession. So now what he's going to come out with, he has to come out and tell you the inverted yield curve, where you're getting more money for a 3-month treasury than a 10-year, we're going to keep raising rates on that 10-year so that eventually what we're going to do is we're going to invert it back. Well, he knows he can't invert the yield curve back by doing that. He's lying to us. He'll be lying to us. I mean, he can't do that. Are you kidding me? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, and he knows that. He can't keep raising the yields up and higher and higher and higher. Are you kidding me? He'll kill us. We won't even have any housing market left. You're going to have to pay 20% for a home loan like we used to back in 2000 and, what was that, 7, 8? No, even before that. So what he's going to do, he's going to tell us one thing, and this is the problem. He'll tell us one thing, and he's going to do another. So while he's going to lie to us and say he's going to take that yield curve and invert it back, and he's got to tell us that because he's saying there's not going to be a recession, but he's going to print money and he's going to give it to the banks, not tell us, and he's going to say to the banks, hey, all right, why don't you go into the bond market and start buying treasuries to get these yields down? While he's telling us, oh, I'm going to make sure the 10-year yield goes up so we can uninvert the yield curve that keeps telling us we're going to have a recession. Remember, when you have an inverted yield curve, when the government would pay you more money 3 months than 10 years, that's inverted. That's bad. That's telling you're in inflation. Now he's committed to us, we're not going to have an inflation. So now he has no choice but to lie to us and say he's going to reverse the yield curve. And that's the excuse he's going to use, that interest rates keep going up, that yields keep going up, which is going to kill us. He said, oh, no, this is good. He says, as yields keep going up, now we're going to be at a point that we're going to take the 10-year Treasury yield, and you're going to get more money on that than you are the 3 months, and that proves there's not going to be a recession. But in the meantime, as we're going up and up and up, the 10-year more interest, and you're getting killed, you go to buy a house, now it's 7%, 8, 9, 10%. He's going to be forced to print money for the banks and get the banks going to buy treasuries to try to get those yields down. But that printing of money is even more inflation. There's only one way to stop this before everybody goes broke. You've got to go in and start increasing productivity. You got to increase productivity. But see, they won't do that because if you're on the Democrat side, this is a great opportunity to build your base. While people are hurting from all the inflation and the terrible jobs, and they're going to start funding everybody with welfare checks and everything else they do to try to build their base, just like they're building their base by opening the border. So the problem is we haven't got leadership to fix this. So the market's going to crash. So that's why every day I beg you, okay, please learn how to sell short. Just think of this. If the deficits are at $6 trillion right now, okay, and since this guy's been in office, wages, even with their running around screaming today and celebrating, wages are 4.4, but they didn't tell you. That's still 3.2% lower than it should be, or where it was when we first came into office. And remember, he said we had an economic growth of 6.5%. Now we're at 2.8%. So, and you got to understand, the wages being this low, 38% of our full-time workers, they can't cover their basic budgets. And that's what's causing now the biggest 3-year increase in part-time jobs. And savings have dropped, remember, from pandemic from 32% to 8% to 4%. And we got these guys still out there saying this about savings. Where is that one? They're telling us that people, listen to this.
And at the end of the day, the consumer looks immensely strong, so much so that many people are willing to quit their jobs. They've got so much in savings.
Can you imagine that? He was trying to sell us that. And the biggest problem we have, on top of all this and why the market's going to crash, is 88% of every tax dollar Biden spends on these silly programs, whether it's the omnibus bill, where they're building ski areas and all these crazy things, right? Remember, we got a real problem there because 88% of every dollar he's spending on these social programs goes to non-productive spending. So every $3 we spend, we only get $1 back. We got to take that money and spend $1 and get $3 back. Just the opposite. But he's not going to do that, and he's not going to stop funding the $4.5 trillion a year for green energy. He's not going to stop funding Ukraine because he and his son are making money on Ukraine, right? So it's not doomsday here. This is exciting because if all you have to do is learn how to sell short. I mean, I can't find any good news anywhere. I mean, I could lie to you like they do. I could be like Jamie Dimon and tell how great things are. That people are resilient and buy. I mean, I could do that. Or like Yellen said,
the economy is remaining strong.
Yeah. Or how about Biden?
The state of our economy is strong.
Yeah. And even Kramer.
I don't know where people think things are bad if everybody says things are so amazing.
Yeah, right. What's so bad out there? There's nothing bad out there. Everything seems to be pretty good. Unbelievable. Oh, and the consumer's strong, right? So what stocks should you be working right now with what's going on? Well, when we get back, let's go over the stocks.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grandy.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor Program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Now, this is really scary. You get the labor secretary come on, and here's what she says, and it's all lies.
Well, so we're also seeing the inflation rate slow, right? We're seeing that prices are lower now than they were a year ago, significantly.
Okay, she's right. Gasoline dropped from 98 now down to 58. So what? Wages aren't keeping up with that. So today they came and said wages are up 4.4, but it's still 3.2 lower than when Biden took office, and price of goods are 16% higher than the day he took office. In other words, households, the goods that we need to use every day, okay, as a household, those prices are still up 16%, while your wages, okay, are up 4.4, but they're not up. They're still, from the day Biden took office, down 3.2. So what do you do with stocks? Well, first of all, you've got to learn how to short. And for 10 days, you're going to learn how to short. It won't cost you a thing. 10 days free. We'll show you a short. But let's take the tech stocks. Well, the tech stocks are dead. The only thing that's been holding up the tech stocks right now, as I said, is an infusion of $15 trillion. Okay? $15 trillion. To hold up they wanted Apple to stay up there and Microsoft to stay up there to hold up the 7 stocks. But that's not going to work anymore. Okay? It's not going to work. This is now worse than dot-coms. It's not going to work. So if anybody's going to go in and start buying Meta now, and that's what people are doing. It's just a delay. People are jumping into Meta. People are jumping into NVIDIA. These stocks are up, what, 120% more than that. You can't go into Meta now. You got to get ready to short Meta. But if you're a believer that everything's fine and the economy is really good and wages are good and savings are good and everybody's doing great, then don't learn how to short. You won't need to. Because if you believe that, then you got to believe the stock market's going to keep going up. But how can the stock market keep going up when you have deficits? I mean, he keeps printing all this money, Powell, to pay these debts. We never stop. We're always spending more than we're taking in. So I don't see that. And remember, as inflation goes up, they got to keep fighting it by raising rates. Yields. Keep watching your yields. And when yields go up, it kills the tech stocks. And that's why they came in with $15 trillion. These tech stocks should have been down a long time ago by 30, 40%. But the reason they're not is because they saw what was going on with these tech stocks, way overvalued. Yields are going up. That's very bad for tech stocks. And why are yields going up? Interest rates going up because he has to keep fighting inflation because of the deficits that Biden keeps running. So when Biden runs deficits, they got to print the money to pay for that. Inflation goes up, and to fight the inflation, they got to raise rates again. So the yield goes up. So that's why these stocks, if it wasn't for that $15 trillion in Apple and Microsoft, those two stocks would have gone down big. And notice how this is the first time that Apple had a real pullback. Real pullback. I mean, you go back in a year. I mean, this is today, go take a look at it in your chart. Now, don't chase it down. Don't short it now. Now, let it rally one more time, and then if it can't get above the high of around 196, let's call it 197. If you're in Apple and you still want to buy Apple because you're a believer, everything's terrific, then Apple dropped to 182 now. So let it get back up above its high, let's say 197. Then you can buy it. But if you go buy it now thinking you're getting a bargain, I better get in now at 192 before it gets back up to 195, you're going to get killed. That's a real high-risk trade. I wouldn't do that myself. So let's see if that stock is going to go back up there. And again, my color-coded chart still says it's green. You know why? Because you still have tourists coming in buying these stocks. They have no idea how the market works. They have no idea that now that they're taking the banks and cutting lending. They're cutting their own throat by doing that. I mean, you can't take an economy that's running at 2.8 instead of 6.5 economic growth and all of a sudden say we're not going to loan anymore. And so that means they're not making money because they're not loaning, but they're losing money because rates are going up, and it means the bonds that they bought, these banks, and giving them 1.5%, and now the rates are 5.5%. They're losing money, just like the three banks. So there's going to be a great opportunity in shorting the banks, and there's going to be a great opportunity in shorting the big tech stocks. But you just got to be patient. So your tech stocks are going to come down. Your big bank stocks are going to get crushed. But it's going to take time because they're going to keep propping them up until they can't prop them up anymore. And when's that? Well, just keep watching your yields. The more the yields go up, then you know it's over. Okay, the higher these yields get, it's more difficult for the tech stocks to keep going up. And the problem with the banks, when yields used to go up, bank stocks would go up. But now that's not the case, because with yields going up, now they're getting another default. Remember how many commercial loans they have sitting out there that are terrible, that are on the books. How many autos right now? Look at the auto loans that are now going to delinquency. The credit cards are delinquent. So these banks that used to enjoy high rates are now sitting back and, oh my God. And then by Powell saying, well, what we're going to do to fix all this, okay, we're just going to stop loaning money. We're going to take the money out of the system. And that's a death sentence. Now, if you look at oil, we've been doing terrific in oil as well. So we're still in our oil stocks. We're doing great, but we've taken a lot of our profits. Every Friday we take profits. And I told my members this morning, as far as oil goes, you got to remember what's going on. Keep watching. I always tell my gang to watch USO. That's the United States Commodity Funds. It's an oil fund. And as long as that keeps going up, then we'll stay in our Schlumberger. We're making good money on Schlumberger. We're still taking profits. So what can happen though, remember, our productivity is way down. Manufacturing is way down. We got all the numbers from Dallas Fed. We got New York Fed. Manufacturing is a disaster. So we don't need oil. The only thing that's keeping oil up right now is that Biden and his son took that 180 million barrels out of the reserve and sold it to their partner that they own, or one of the largest Asian refiners, and sold it to them. Now, they were supposed to replace it, but they canceled the order yesterday. They're not going to replace it. They're not going to replace the oil. So we got a real problem here. So again, with the only thing that's going to hold our oil price, our stocks up in oil, our oil stocks up, is if they don't replace that reserve, which they're not doing right now, and as long as OPEC keeps cutting. But if they place the reserve and OPEC stops cutting, then we got to turn around and sell the oil stocks short. Now, just take one of our oil stocks, just give you an example, and that's why you got to learn how to go long and short. So take Schlumberger. Schlumberger, we got in Schlumberger around, I don't know what it was. Schlumberger was around $47. Now it's up $57. And that's a 20% return. And Baker is another one we got into, about the same return. So we did well on these, but now we're going to take more and more profits and get ready to short them and just keep our eye on that fund, USO fund, and that will give us a signal. But my color-coded chart is the best thing, because right now it's green. It will start turning yellow if all of a sudden money's coming out of Schlumberger. It will start turning yellow. You don't have that on your charts. Okay, these are the charts that we designed. It'll start turning yellow, warning you that you better start taking profits because the stock's going to drop. Then we'll sell short. You've got to learn how to sell short. That's the key to it all. So again, the big tech stocks are going to get killed because they're going to keep raising rates. That's very bad for higher yields, or very bad for tech. The banks are in deep trouble. Even though yields are going up, it's good for them. They're losing money because yields are going up on their treasuries. They got bad loans. There's really no place to go. The only place to make money if you don't short is oil, and we don't know how long that's going to go. So join the gang, philsgang.com. Sign up where it says Get Started over the weekend. 10 days free, and learn how to sell short.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600.